We've had what you call a sexual revolution, and it has been thought that it was only for young people, but there's no reason why older people can't take advantage of that too.
I think that older single or widowed people, if they meet nice others in their same category, let them have sex. I mean, not basically, but I mean, you never lose your desires.
I think they should have sex as long as they can. Because like, there's something you was born with, how you going to throw it away? You gotta, and if you keep at it, you know, it's satisfying. You don't have a whole lot of hang-ups about it. A lot of old people do have hang-ups about it.
I think if the man's 101 and she's 100 and they still want to, more power to them. If they want sexual satisfaction. But I don't suppose there are very many. Not everyone's like Picasso. I think I heard or read somewhere that he was very vigorous even up to 91. And God knows he was a genius.
I'm as sexual as I've ever been, as happy as I've ever been, and more complete than I've ever been. And I don't know why it was designed this way, but I wish I had known what I know now when I was 25, 30, 35, and 40.
We, as a population, are aging. By the turn of the century, almost 1 billion people, the population of China today, will be over 65. Yet we are still a youth-oriented culture. We often isolate and demean people over 65. Most of us are uncomfortable or unfamiliar with older people's sexuality. However, the majority of men and women interviewed in the reputed Star Weiner survey on sex after 65 said sex was just as good or better than when they were younger. We need to realize that people over 65 feel love, hope, and desire, like all of us.
My name is Lydia Bragger. I'll be 83 this year. That's not so old, really. I see people much older than that. I used to I lecture, and about 20 years ago, I used to speak about sex after 60. Then I got to be 70, and it was sex after 70. Then when I got 80, it was sex after 80, and I'm going to be around till 90, and it's going to be sex after 90, I'm sure. Sexuality means more than just intercourse. It's loving, it's touching, it's caring, it's sharing. All of these things, I think people forget that. People ask me if sex is proper. I don't like that word proper, but anyway, this is what they ask me. For people after 65, it's not only proper, but it's important. And society has told us that after 65 or after even younger than that, you're not able to perform, or if you do have any desires, you can't perform. So that people need to know after 65 that it's perfectly natural to want to have sex and want to have be sexual with another person, and if you want it and you can have it, it's possible.
My name is Dan Beer. I'm 73 years old. I'm Jewish. I say I don't care what you are, so as long as you're a nice person. I love people. People are my life. I've played tennis for 60 years. I love it. Sex is a fact of life. In fact, it's too much of a fact in the younger generation, but that's another story. As far as I'm 73, my wife, bless her, is 69. We still have sex, but not on a frequent basis that we did. There are other things in life besides sex, and you can be madly in love and not have any sex at all. I would say that love is expressed through sex, but I would say that that's not the big end of the scale. Sex is sex for sexual satisfaction. And if you had to be in love, these girls and fellas would be in love with 80,000 people, because sex today is like going to the bathroom. And going to the bathroom sometimes is a bigger relief, so they tell me.
My name is Frances Torrance, and I'm divorced. I live alone, and recently retired from my job. And I have my buddy here to keep me company. She's a little pain in the neck sometimes. I would like to have a friend, but I don't know what, it's just something that maybe I don't go out enough, to meet anybody. But then after I see them, I don't want anybody that's all, what I call dilapidated. I want somebody that's strong, healthy, and has taken care of themselves. Because there are a lot of men out there my age that are healthy men, but I don't know where to find them. I'm not dead yet, but, you still have feeling. So we keep looking. And I don't want, I can have a friend, he could come up here to visit, but I don't want him to move in because I like to live alone.
We were a naive, non-knowing group. I think we were interested in school and our girlfriends and going to the movies once a week. And when I did learn about sex, that is by hearing my girlfriends talk about it, I was first very amazed. And then I don't know whether I was slow or it just didn't interest me terribly. It's a strange thing about sex when you're young and you have the children and you're very tired at night. I found, I don't know, maybe some people have more energy than I had. I was very tired at night. Sometimes I was very happy to just go to sleep. I can't imagine these women who are so pepped up that any time was all right. I never had that great physical energy. I'm trying to remember how I felt when I was young. It's very difficult. It's a long time ago. But I think I always wanted a good relationship above all. I think I did.
Well, my name is George Heineman. What do I do? Well, I'm a television producer. I was with NBC for about 33 years. I'm 67. I have been single 4 years. I fill my time with my work. One of the fortunate things for me is that that's what I've done all my life. I've never really felt that I was working hard because I was doing what I wanted to do. So I work Saturdays, Sundays, weekends, and day and night. I don't have much trouble with my social time. Fortunately, I've not been seeking relationships, but they have found me, and they are wonderful, warm, compatible people. In any relationship after you're 60, you finally have the chance to grow up, and you finally have the chance to recognize what maturity really means. And so when you make friends, in quotes, so to speak, you're really doing something else. You're really learning respect for the other party, and a lot of appreciation of where you're coming from. Nobody denies that sexual release and sexual understanding is important, but it is a part of a whole experience, not just a goal that you seek on a one-night stand basis, so to speak.
For older people who wish to be sexually active and might not have a partner because of maybe the partner has passed away or a divorce, what is the most important aspect of that question is to be available, which means to go to places where other older adults congregate and to make themselves available to a relationship if that's what they would like.
Assuming I wanted to, I don't think I could attract anybody because I don't think I'm attractive enough. So I imagine if I looked very good, I might have a different feeling about it.
I don't worry about it. I've had many chances among many women, but I am not interested in any extracurricular activities because I have a lovely wife and a lovely daughter, and one night in the bedroom that can end in an affair was not going to cancel out a 40-year-old marriage.
When you're without, as long as I've been right now, you're kind of nervous wreck because sex calms you down. And a lot of those minor little aches and pains and things you think you got, you don't have them. It's all up in your mind.
The older people are left out many times in social affairs, and they need to be, to get out and be with people and do things that are fun. And all of these things contribute to a healthy outlook on life, if not perfectly healthy body, but a healthy outlook on life that will make you think of sex and make you want sex.
The pure physical sexual experience can run to the 90s and over. I don't know how far, but I do know that there is a growing appreciation of the need for people to be able to express themselves and not be embarrassed about it or guilty about it after 60 or 65.
I think now I would have sex without love because right now sex is the most important thing to me, not love. I would like a person, but I mean not love. You get too attached to people when they get in love. And then one thing leads to another, and then, you know, me, I cool down and I don't want that person anymore because they seem to dominate you, want you to, you know, be too close to you. I don't want anybody too close.
I think that when I was younger, if I'd have had more actual correct information on sex, when I did start having sex, it would have been much more helpful, especially when I became married, because I think the first couple encounters were very juvenile, and but you learn with experience.
I began to experience it and lived in an age when man was supposed to be supreme, and it was a little macho. And I'm sorry for that now because I realize what I missed.
Well, I guess if I was 18 now, because that's when I got married, I would wait. I would wait, and because I believe that your ideas are not formed that young, it's very difficult to meet someone that you will have something in common with, and that you can be very, although I was married 40 years to my first husband, but it was sort of a make-do marriage in many instances. So I would wait, and I'd be very sure. I would have affairs probably, and I would certainly be a virgin when I was married, but I would wait before I got married.
Today, it's all lumped in one. You can be a perfectly lovely girl and still have premarital sex. There's nothing wrong with it. When I was young, one just didn't. I think this is better.
If I'd have known 20 years, when I was 20 years old about sex, it wouldn't have changed my attitude. I'm on the prim side. I definitely don't believe in young couples living together and then eventually getting married, maybe have a baby, and a year they're divorced and the baby doesn't have a mother or father.
No one told me about it. That guy had to learn it like from the street, like most kids did, because the parents back there, then it seems to be such a hush-hush thing to them. And they never even sat down and discussed anything. I never heard anything. I didn't even know my grandparents or parents was having sex. I never gave it a thought.
I imagine I looked at anyone over 60 as, just old, and I know I had a grandmother and grandfather who were very tall, strong, handsome people, but it somehow never occurred to me that they might have a life of their own other than being grandparents. Just never occurred to me, I guess.
Like everybody who's 25, I thought that people 40 were out of the sexual business and were old and mature people, and they were just now beginning to end their wonderful, productive lives. And of course, now that I'm 67 and I look back at that, it's ridiculous, and I'm sorry that someone didn't take the trouble, as they are now doing, to educate me.
So everybody has different opinions about what sexuality is. But to me, it's just like having a good sex partner.
I think the best sex is when you can relate to a person physically, mentally, spiritually, when you have that bonding. That is the best kind of sex to have. But sex, romantic sex, that's all included, but it depends on who you're having sex with. Some people are very romantic and you don't feel a spiritual oneness with them. But to me, the best sex is when you have that bonding. And that doesn't happen very often in your lifetime. I think it's happened to me only twice in my whole lifetime. And I have had other sexual partners that I have enjoyed being with, but that is perfection, I think.
I think that if you don't hurt anybody and you actually like what you're doing, it's later than you think. I personally don't think I could. I have too many years of not doing what I secretly may want to do, so I couldn't possibly let loose now.
If you are sexually active all of your life, you stay that way. And I think you have to work around things sometimes, but you have desires, sexual desires, and you manage to perform and enjoy sex. So I don't care how old you are, I think that this happens.
In a sentence or two, sex after 60, perhaps the only difference is it takes a little more planning.
I think the biggest myth about aging and sexuality is that older people don't feel sexually aroused, that they don't need it, that they're over the hill. And what we have to shout from the rooftops of New York University is that older people particularly need to be touched. They need the hugging, they need the caressing, they need this kind of intimate contact, even if it doesn't lead to a sexual encounter. Thank you very much.
A lot of things.